So timestamps exist in case you want to skip forward. Yes, I scheduled a stream. It's called the Uma Lock, and I will explain when that happens, because otherwise there's going to be a video to prepare. Usually I would do things in the stream, but hey. But otherwise, as we get into this run, I was going to do Sakura Bakushin O until I got a sprint inherit, and so now we're doing King Halo, which is going to be trickier anyway, so it'll be fun to try out. But otherwise, yeah, we're just setting things to I think we're on sprint. Question mark? Where is it? No, I'm set on stamina for some reason. But either way, yeah, I did one Sakura Bakushin O. I think she has 2-star aptitude sprint, which is better than nothing. And then I have a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, we're just going to go on with this. I'm going to try not to inherit anything, so I'm just looking for non-inherits into A aptitude for the sake of getting more sprint. But otherwise, yeah, this is going to be a King Halo video to prepare for the Legend race. That's what I wanted to get out of the way. So, without further ado, I think this is what I'm using for King Halo. I switched Silent Suzuka out for my SR King Halo if I was training Sakura Bakushin O, but that's not the case because we're training King Halo, so we cannot use the support card. So otherwise, yeah, let's get a move on. Again, going silent for the sake of timestamps. Oh my goodness. So, as we actually get into the run, our inherits are not going to be that great. It looks okay. 41 stamina is very good. It's just not as high as it could be, basically. But it's certainly not bad, so for King Halo specifically, I mean, I'll show you what I mean. Hopefully I don't somehow fail this run. I've done a few King Halos and I've done a few Sakura Bakushin O's because I decided to switch to Sakura Bakushin O for the sake of my sanity. Because forcefully training King Halo, let's just say Sakura Bakushin O is certainly easier than King Halo. And also, just note my pronunciation really quickly. I just like using the Japanese pronunciation now. Usually I stick to whatever pronunciation of the language I'm using. So for example, if I say Sakura Bakushin O, that should have been what I've been saying. But now I just used the... I speak more Japanese in this case, which sounds odd, but I swear it's not anything weird. It's just... I say whatever comes naturally, but usually I try to stay in the pronunciation of whatever I'm speaking, so shrug. But yeah, as we switch back to focusing on the game here, we're focusing speed and stamina, or speed and power trainings, because we should be, well actually, no, that's not true, not with King Halo, and the reason for that, I don't know what the exact, actually no, I have hit 1200 speed with King Halo. I think I recently did it once only though, so that's not really a high bar, but I think part of that was that I was really trying to push wits in my earlier runs, but my more recent runs, I've been focusing on things, other things. Also, let me do that. So OBS might have looked weird for a second there, but I guess Jordan can check in the thingamajiggy, which I probably should note now. But as we continue training King Halo here, we should be doing other trainings, especially if we get 4 supports sitting there. But as I go on here, just taking a quick note for the thing I just did. Otherwise, we're going to take energy here. So, we're going to leave Director Akikawa alone. But if we find any other, or if we have nothing else to do, we'll do a wits training. Preferably, I'd still like to hit 200 wits. If you don't know the reason why, this is basically from sources, so it's not like I've pulled things or done anything weird myself. But let's see. Actually, I still have a calculator pulled up, so we might as well just do this here. And so yeah, with 200 wits, you have a 55% chance to for a skill to even have a chance at proccing, I think. And if I'm wrong, well, I guess other sources are wrong. But that's what 200 wits does. If you have, I think 150 makes a big, huge leap in your proc rate. I mean, I can do it here too. So. Did I do that right? Yeah, it turns into 40%, which, I mean, sure, some people might think an extra 15% doesn't mean much in the realm of about 50-50, pretty much, but it does to me, so. But preferably you want at minimum 300 wits, but I don't. Depends on how high I can get my speed, stamina, and power. And obviously wits plays other factors as well, but our speed and stamina still need to be high. And the reason for that is because King Halo's goal races, she has a couple of mile and certainly medium races in which she needs to place 3rd or 5th or higher, which means I've failed the full clock for the sake of seeing if I had enough stamina. Even though I could have answered that, again, at this point, veteran trainers can just go, Jordan, why didn't you just do this? I'm going to be very vague here when I'm saying this, but why didn't you just do this or look at this source? And I go, well, just to find out. That's not really a good reason, though. If I were advising someone, I would really point you in the direction of certain resources, but other veteran trainers have made videos and or streams about this before. More than a few, so you should, if you're watching this video or listening to this video, you likely know what I'm talking about resource-wise. If you don't worry about it. You'll quickly find it once you do at least like first or second level research into Musume and how to be more successful, basically. But yeah, even for mile races, we have a few. Even the junior make debut. But grade B isn't the worst thing in the world. It's just, I think for King Halo specifically, unless you're pushing Pace Chaser, you can just get stuck. At least in my experience, I just get stuck a lot. How do you know that, Jordan? Because I literally watch the race and see it happen in my face. Now, that's not always the case. It is possible for you to break out, despite what the visuals may seem to be, but getting blocked is getting blocked. Like, that is a real worry. There's a reason why you see that phrase more than a few times. I'm going to rest here instead. So yeah. On a separate topic, though, I am not interested. What's the word? I'm intrigued by the fact that a lot of trainers gamble on 20-30% turns. I know the better part of that logic is because you're doing a bunch of trainings anyway, whether you're free-to-play or you're a whale, and especially if you're a whale, but sometimes even free-to-plays, you're just burning TP left and right, so you don't really mind, apparently, from what I see, doing a new run. Unless, of course, you're newer to Musume, where you're enjoying the story, enjoying the races, looking to see how the races turn out, testing things here and there because you may not have done a lot of research, which is good to do. I think there is still, in general, for any video game really, there is merit in going in yourself and finding things out. If nothing else, I think that's good for just, not innovation, but basically finding your own way and seeing what does and doesn't work. And if nothing else, you might actually find something that no one's found before. Now, Musume is a very exceptional case because, for the most part, 98% of what's going to happen, we know what's going to happen. But the other side of that, I think there are a few questions I still have that have not been answered, and I could just ask them to someone. Also, we did not set the thingamajiggy, so I'm going to do that here. But what I mean by what I'm trying to say here is that, for example, did they fix the first place but not really first place bug during a race? Did they tweak the... there's something else. Did they tweak the... I think it was the focus bug, or basically late start bug, in which your Musume did not start out the gate actually slow enough for it to count as a late start, but it still counted as a late start. Something of that degree. I'm sure I'm getting some details here and there wrong, but I think veteran trainers are those who know what I'm talking about. So I'm wondering if those things are already in global, which I assume they would be, because things like mechanics and whatnot, those are probably going to be introduced later. I already scheduled my race. I don't know why I'm checking. But things like the bugs that I mentioned are questions that I would have, and I haven't seen a lot of answers for. So, but for the most part, I mean, I haven't seen anything weird. That's at least based on my own observations. I have not seen anything strange. Also, I do need to increase my stamina at some point. So, again, for me personally, I usually do about 2 to 3 guts, or basically 2 to 3 of the off trainings that I'm not going to do during a run early on. But yes, I should be doing I should be doing stamina. I don't want to just take skills and hope for the best, but we don't need to during junior year and early classic year, but I'm still just gonna take it just to be safe. Even though I don't need to, I'm pretty sure I have enough stamina for these sprint races. It's the goal races I'm really scared of. So, and if we don't get first here, we get blocked. Again, that's just based off of my analysis and hearsay. So this is basically a just trust me, bro moment, where I'm telling you, I mean, I could show you the veteran Musume I have as we take a gamble here, and we thankfully won the gamble, but basically show you the option races I've done to say that at this stat, with these stat distributions as we gamble on 10% here, I usually get first place in the optional sprint races. Now, the goal races, on the other hand, are a completely different story. They're still all over the place, and I think a big part of that is me not working on stamina early. But shrug. I'll be more surprised if someone uses 2 or more stamina cards on King Halo. Although I would understand the reason why if you are trying to get first in every single goal race. By the way, we want to rest here. We can afford to get sleep deprived into a mood decrease and negative status effect because we're Tazunoing here. I'm just going to take the top option. The bottom one is practice perfect or perfect practice. Higher success rates or lower failure rates. Either or, take your pick. But yeah, here we are in a medium race. Our stats are relative to our rivals, but I'm fairly certain that we don't meet the stamina requirements because we did not touch stamina. If for no other, again, like I said, if for no other reason than our stamina is probably lower than the favorites here. I mean, we're already lower than the number 7 favorite, so here's hoping for the best. Yep. Yeah, still trying to find the sweet spot. I mean, I could have just not procced the straightaway recovery anyway, if that mattered. I don't know if that's proportional to the stamina after HP calculation, or just your strict HP calculation after entering a race. But anyway, I'm speaking a lot of groovy technical terms, but yeah, I swear it makes sense. Timestamp, please. Okay, yeah. So, I need to work on stamina, basically. Definitely during the summer, but it seems like I need to do a little bit more. I don't think I did a single stamina training, did I? I did power training, but that's apparently not enough for me to survive. Unless I just got blocked. I could have just gotten blocked as well. That's always a valid point for, especially for late surgers, or end closers, so. Period, that's the end of the sentence. Yeah, my stamina is quite low. If we see like 3 or 4 supports here in stamina, sure. Otherwise, yeah, not much else happening here. I guess we do wits. Not really low enough energy to rest, but not really high enough energy to train comfortably, so I can go 2 turns in a row. Period, that's the end of the sentence. And also, again, for those who really don't know, I'm taking a lot of optional sprint races to force URA finals to be sprint races, because otherwise we will just lose mile, or we might survive mile races, but we definitely will not survive medium races with the stamina that I plan to have. Now, I think at this point, a lot of the trophies I don't have are mile races, which I'm not going to do with King Halo, so yeah, we're going to sprinkle only a few sprint races here and there. I say as I probably am going to sprinkle more, but King Halo is a tricky one, basically. If there's anything to take away, King Halo is certainly a trickier Musume to train than Sakura Bakshi no. And I don't think a lot of people would really argue that, unless for some reason you're missing a lot of speed cards, but that would be really weird, I think. And I am confident in saying that statement. I'm usually not confident talking of making statements, but that one I'm certainly more confident in. So I want to take more general perks because I am studios. I'm afraid of if I take sprint perks, they're not going to help me in the mile or medium races that King Halo will be in. So I'm just going to make a call and not spend any skill points. I could have, for the sake of the sprint race, so if I don't get first here, maybe I should have taken the sprint perk, but shrug, we're already in here. But otherwise, the only thing you need to know is that if you're doing primarily sprint races, or especially if you don't have to worry about any non-sprint goal races, yeah, you don't really need to increase stamina. Now, that's not going to fly if you're doing team trials or any other outside URA scenario race, but... And by that I mean legend races, because if you're watching or listening to this video at near the time of this recording and upload time, then you probably know that the legend races are coming up. And the primary reason why I'm starting here, I guess I should have mentioned that, this is probably going to be a grinding gate video because I'm trying to force gold ship into the legend race. That might not fly. I obviously still want at least to get the victory rewards, but I promise you, after I get the victory rewards, I will promptly start using gold ship, because gold ship. So, yeah, that's all I need to say. Do I have water, by the way? I do have water, so I'm gonna take a sip. So yeah, we might as well take these stamina recovery perks. Funny enough, I could take Lay Low because we will get jammed. If we're unlucky, we get jammed. So that's a really funny thing about Iron Will / I think. That other I just forgot the name. I just said the name and I forgot. But you get what I mean. Those perks can proc. You're just not looking for them to proc because if they proc, you're in a bad situation anyway. I think that's the main downside. And if I'm misunderstanding, well, please let me know. We're gonna skip this, by the way. But yeah, I mean, again, we don't need to worry about normally early classic year races. It's after the summer training that we really need to worry. And if I get bad stamina training basically during the summer, I promise you we're going to have a bad time. So, yeah, off we go. Funny enough, so the thing about Sakura Bakshino, because I probably will not be putting up a video of her anytime soon, if I were recording... Timestamp. Yeah, for Sakura Bakshino, she specifically has an event, her own unique event, in which you can get a stamina perk for the Nakayama racecourse, which is the which is the location in which we will be doing the legend race. So if you need extra stamina, or you want that green skill, I don't know if it's really going to have an effect because it is a sprint race, so everyone should meet the stamina requirements, which is something good to say about King Halo scenario. But I'll mention that in a bit after. Yeah, so Sakura Bakshino has a specific stamina Nakayama racecourse perk. So if you need it, you can take it. But otherwise, for King Halo, funny enough, King Halo I think might be my most appropriate racer for the Legend race if I desperately need a win. And the reason for that is because King Halo has these goal races you need to survive that are medium and or mile. I think the only long race she's in is one where you just have to participate. But you get the point. You need more stamina to survive her URA championship more comfortably, unless you're using stamina recovery, of course. But by building stamina, you are going to be prepared for the Legend race. I mean, despite what I and other veteran racers, I'm not saying I'm a veteran racer, I'm just saying me plus other veteran racers, despite what the advice that we might be trying to give for the next Legend race, which I probably should make a video for if nothing else, but I'm sure other people are doing so too, who can say better. But basically, we're telling you to put stamina in your whoever you're putting in the Legend race, because the stamina you use for your AA scenario is not going to be enough for the Legend race, most likely, if you are not increasing it above even just like 300, sorry. And definitely you cannot be below 200 stamina going into that Legend race. You will lose, I feel pretty sure of, as we start to lose here. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna clock. So I'm missing stamina here. I would have liked to be at 200 stamina. We would actually survive, I'm pretty sure. But if we proc both recovery perks, I think we do. So we're gonna actually watch this race for the sake of seeing. We also have low wits and low guts. So one, my wits is low, so we have a near 40%, less than 40% chance to proc either recovery skill. I hope I only need one of them. If we need both of them, this might be the shortest training URA scenario video yet for a global server for me. We're gonna find out. So, but yeah, for the Legend race, I mean, there are resources in which you can see how much stamina you specifically need. I think it's still within the realm. Well, if you have recovery skills, I feel fairly certain, if I were to put my chips down, that you can survive with 350 stamina with even just 2 normal recovery perks. Now, the nuance there is that both recovery perks need to proc, or the recovery perks that you're relying on, no matter how many you have, need to proc, so therefore you need wits. But if you can just build your stamina there, you don't need to worry about that at all. And I'm pretty sure it's, I should have actually written it down. I don't know why I didn't write it down. I can talk about this while we're waiting for the race here, but I think it's 450. I mean, I can just do it now. Can I do it now? Question mark? Please tell me it's here. No, it's not here. It's on the other thing. So, if I check right here, I think I wrote down, yeah, we can check this while I'm moving, as I also move my microphone so we can speak into the mic. But, where did I put it? It should be here, right? No? It might be somewhere else. I'm looking at my notes, basically. And we're also checking to see if we're not a pace chaser. Oh, no, we're moving, counterclockwise. I was looking, I was like, why is King Halo in the front? She's not. But, okay, I must have it somewhere else. So I need to do this, and hopefully OBS doesn't freak out too much. But it's going to freak out a little bit, probably, as I look at something here. So, what are we looking at here? Is it not here? It's not here? What do you mean it's not here? Alright, where it's not here. Okay, well, sorry for slowing down the making the video a bit choppier for now. I didn't hear a single recovery skill yet, so I'm kind of worried. But let's see. Oh no, I do have it right here. So yeah, it's specifically, if nothing else, your goodie here in this video. Your goodie here in this video is the details of the legend race, if you don't know it. It's in the news if you go into Musume, if you go into the game yourself, but otherwise it's Nakayama Turf, 1200 meters, right, or sorry, I think it's clockwise, but right, sunny weather, firm. I forgot the season, but you get what I'm trying to say at this point. So, if I put this in, and let's assume this is actually my good King Halo question mark. Actually, I can look here instead. I don't know why I'm looking there. So yeah, you need about, if you have just one normal rarity HP recovery skill proccing, I don't think we procced a single recovery skill, so I'm just hoping that King Halo pulls forward. But yeah, with one regular skill, with pretty much average stats, I'm saying average as in 600, 700-ish, you need about 329 stamina for this legend race, which is actually lower than I thought. But the problem is that what if you don't proc this recovery skill? So for me, my stamina requirement would be 350-ish. So shrug. I guess I'll clock here for the sake of content, but yeah, this is not good. Watch them give me a 2-star stat aptitude into like a 3-star sprint aptitude. I will be quite sad. By the way, just making sure. So yeah, we're gonna watch this again because I want to make sure that my stamina skills are either proccing or not proccing. But then again, I have low wits here, so keep in mind that I pretty much, well, it's close enough to a 50-50 for each skill to at least have a chance of proccing. But I think they will yeah, if they're scheduled to proc, they will proc. They will happen if the requirements are met. And in this case, they will, because there's always going to be a straightaway. And I think this sprint race has at least one corner. So, yeah. And then I didn't want that. That's the question mark downside of straightaway recovery. But maybe that's enough? We don't need that much more HP, but we could have just gotten blocked too. Again, I wasn't really paying attention to the race the first time. I'm a bit more attentive now. So yeah, we did proc both stamina recovery skills. The problem is that they happened really, really early. If that was the only corner in the sprint race, then sure, but straightaway recovery needed to wait until later. I'm pretty sure I didn't get the full value. Maybe I did though. I'm not too familiar with these skills yet. Although, is this a medium race? Or a mile race? I just saw 1600 meters pass, so I could look this up myself, but at this point, I'm not going to. So, I'm just gonna hope that King Halo, I think we only need to get like 5th or above, right? Why do I not remember this? Anywho. Either way, I'm pretty sure this time we're not being blocked as, well, it looks like we are blocked. I'm just gonna look. Yeah, we are a little blocked, but this is recoverable. I'm just worried about my stamina, but we are blocked actually. We're blocked by the railing, then someone's in front of us, then Special Week is beside King Halo, so that is scary to see. But as we enter the final spurt here, and we're hoping that we pull for, again, we don't need to pass Seiyun Sky and or Mihono Budoban to get first, we just need to survive. So we definitely have a way, King Halo apparently sees a way forward. She gets stuck for a moment there. But if we pull forward, we should be okay. Are we going to pull forward any more? We have the stamina, or we have the speed and the power. It's just the stamina. And the guts. Technically, our guts is somewhat low as well, but this is a bit late. But again, I think we just need to get 5th or above. I guess we're going to find out. It's harder to see here because if you're close to, but don't meet the stamina requirement, we got 3rd, thankfully. But yeah, if we're close but don't hit the stamina requirement, you essentially lose all your HP at the end when the camera is not zoomed in on you. And yeah, lacked guts, but also lacked stamina, so that's something we need to work on. Basically, if I see a 3 support, 4 support stamina training turn, I'm gonna take it because we are in desperate need. But we should be near summer training. So yeah, the Japanese Derby, which is a medium race, I'm pretty sure, does not do me any favors. So, pain. But otherwise, as we enter the summer close here, I could gamble on this. I don't want to, though. So instead, what we're going to do... Did I do Tazna? I did. So we're on the second one. So what we're going to do is rest now, because if we get a negative status effect, I can take Tazna. Well, we got well rested, so shrug. But we're still going to do with... I should have actually taken Guts there. We need the stamina too, but... Yeah, actually, no, that's fine then. And then we take Wits. We don't get any energy, not information, but we're doing this for the sake of going into the summer training with as much energy as possible. So the question is, so thankfully we don't have any rainbow training, and yeah, we're gonna do stamina here. If I do, I think even minimum 2 stamina trainings, we should be good for the run. But if we can get 3, that's nice. If we can get good power training, that would also be nice. Otherwise, I'm doing power for the sake of stamina as well. And then I want to do a speed training now at this point. If we do stamina, I'm not really going to cry about it either, but we do need to do something. So, yep, here's another stamina, and I think we do wits. So we should have enough guts and stamina for everything but the medium races. Yeah. So we're probably going to look for a wits training here. I don't remember I really should have looked into King Halo's events, but we'll take the power because our speed should be going up anyway. And 50-50 coin flip. Oh, these are really good turns, but whatever. No! That sounds like a failure. Okay, good. That was an A of affirmation and not an E of question. I thought, for a moment, I thought we failed, but... Anywho. So, depending on what happens here, I think I still want to take sprint races, but I did need to rest there anyway. I was not going to take a sprint race early on. Yeah, so Sprinter Stake we're going to take. If we win this, we don't have to worry about fans as much. And I'm not just doing this to upgrade King Halo's unique. It is primarily for the fans. But we failed, so I'm just going to assume we got blocked. There is not really, again, and yeah, our wits and guts are low, but we're going to just gamble here. That we did not succeed. I'm pretty sure we didn't succeed there, but anywho. Just get ready for the test to heal energy, recover energy, heal, recover. Anywho, you get what I mean. And we're going to take another look. We got second, so that is still a lot of fans. It's just not as much as I would want. But we'll look really quickly for another sprint race. If for no other reason than for skill points. We do want skill points as well, considering these support cards I took. We will need them. Trust me. I guess we'll just take a G3. But otherwise, to training we go. This is really interesting, but we probably want to do... We could actually be missing speed at this point, but I'm just going to take power one more time. And we'll see what happens. So, yeah, basically, power training should supplement our stamina. I just decided to train stamina directly through summer, not just because you get upgraded training levels there, but also just because I think I need the extra oomph of stamina to survive the goal races that I'll be in. If I'm remembering correctly. If I'm not remembering correctly, then I guess it just doesn't matter. At this point, I really should just take one of the two, but it's fine. So this is a long race, but we just need to run in it. Certainly a lot easier to win than Haru Urara Arima Kinen, but still, you're probably not set too long, although we kind of are, but we don't have the stamina. We certainly don't have the stamina. But you know what? For funsies, let's watch King Halo run this race. Not because I want to see her taking down a pig, just because I want to actually see how we do. I'm pretty sure this is not consistent in terms of how much stamina we need. In fact, I could probably look, but I did not check the other things anyway. While this loading screen is loading, I might as well look this up. So, I forgot which race it was specifically, so I can instead look at the Kikuka Sho. The name appears in front of my face. And let's go. So, if I look this up, we might as well do something important. That way I'm not just blindly saying information for no reason, as we immediately proc straight away recovery again. But 3,000 meters, again, we just need to outstat our competition, but I'm pretty sure we don't. So, if we're just working on what we have, this, I'm just going to put this in. And then I'm going to say no stamina skills proc. And this is a 3,000 meter race that is, I don't know what the weather is like. So I'm just going to say normal. And yeah, we certainly, well, no one would have the stamina for this actually. But the important part is that, actually with firm, well, that's still not too much of a difference. But there's a lot that we need to take care of. Actually, isn't wits also buffed by the URA difficulty thing? So actually we have a higher skill proc rate than we thought. But nonetheless, what I'm well, actually at this point, since it's a long race, King Halo can proc her stamina skills or corner recovery at any time. We're not stuck, so basically if we start losing speed, or basically get booted down to our minimum speed by losing all of our HP, then yeah, I mean, that's just what happens. And funny enough, because of how I think HP calculation works, you're most likely going to be losing all of your HP / stamina at the tail end of the race, which is why you just down all the way to the back here. If I were to explain through the UI, because you can't see my cursor most likely, that. Also, I forgot that when you click, you get rid of the pointer arrow that shows where your Musume is, which I probably should do for the sake of the thumbnail, so you know what, we're going to do that. It's not like I can't spot King Halo from a distance anyway, not because she's not wearing her 3-star uniform, but like, the girls' designs are unique enough to tell them at a distance. Period. Even if they have the same hair color, same hairstyle, same hair length, even though those are very important identifiers, their uniforms are a big part of it as well, but hey. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't have enough stamina for this final spurt. We won't really see it because all the UI goes away, and by the time, if we're not in the top 3, the camera will not pan to us, unless we set our camera. But if you set the camera to 2 like so, you can't really see much, so yeah. And that's a primary reason why I like watching races vertical anyway, because you get more dynamic angles for the races. But yeah, this is certainly not a great race. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8th? I think that looked like 8th place. 7th. Close enough, it doesn't matter. Below 5th, you get everything bad anyway. Lack the guts, but really the stamina. Actually, well, guts as well. Guts is also a factor for the long race. I think you need about at least 300 guts? Actually, no, because then you would have... If you have the URA buff, and it is 400 for guts as well, then you technically have all the guts you need for... Actually, that's not entirely true, because it depends on your stamina as well. But it's close enough, it doesn't matter, basically. But certainly, if you have 400 guts given to you by the scenario, you shouldn't really need to worry about guts at all. But again, if you get taken out to basically other racing modes outside of the scenario, you need guts. you certainly need more guts, but then not as much as we will need in the future, where I think, if what I saw was correct, at least on a lot of Japanese sites, guts is like top. It's higher on the priority enough to be the 3rd most stat that you need to pay attention to. But again, correct me if I'm wrong. Literally any of the 2 or 3 Japanese sites, and by this or just like basic guide sites. Well, it's not basic. They do give a lot of information, but you get what I mean. Common sites that you might run into. By the way, wits. So this next goal race is a sprint race, so I don't need to worry about this as much. My question is, and we can just check the races here. I don't even know why I'm debating this. So, mile race, 1,600 meters. Place first in sprinters. Isn't this a long race? No, it's a medium. 2,000 meter medium, but we should have enough for that. I'm actually gonna look at that later, but let's... Actually, I want to take another sprint race now. And this partially is because I'm trying to upgrade King Halo's skill, but... I don't need to, but I'm gonna try to. So basically, if we don't get first here, bad things happen. So, or we could be better if we won first place. That's all I'm trying to say. But otherwise, I'm gonna do this while the events are going on, so I can do something with my life. So yeah, we need about 320 stamina. A little bit more than that, realistically, because I'm looking at the number in my face. But if I calculate this out, yeah, we should need about 320 stamina, of which we don't have. So that means stamina, straightaway recovery and or corner recovery needs to proc at least. Actually, can I check that? Yeah, I can check that. I don't know why I'm not. So really, yeah, we actually hit the stamina requirement if one of those procs in a proper moment. We're taking the more energy here and hoping that we don't get a negative status, which we thankfully didn't. So, that being said, I'm still waiting for Vodka to give us the breath of fresh air. Otherwise, Director Akikawa could give us that, but meh. And yeah, not really much else. Funny enough, I'm just gonna take tail held high. Now, keep in mind this: if we get concentration and or breath of fresh air, or really both, in the middle of senior year, then I would have made a bad purchase there, in my opinion. But we'll see. Also, Professor of Curvature would help as well, but we have not done any of those events yet, so unless I did, I'm going crazy. Anywho, we don't need to watch the sprint race. Sprint races should be in the bag, should be slam dunks. It's the goal races that are even just mile or medium length, or basically more than 1,600 meters, that could be a bit iffy. But really anything that's 2,000 meters or over at the moment, because yeah, we need to rely on a stamina skill to proc to survive. I'm basing that off of the calculations I'm doing to the side here, but King Halo! Yeah, this is a far cry from Sakura Bakushin O, who basically primarily has sprint races. Period. That's the end of the sentence. We'll keep on taking speed and power here. We'll try to push our speed to 1,200. That's the end of the sentence. I should actually pull King Halo up over to the side here just so I can try to make some educated choices. But otherwise, as we sit here, was that just a carrot? No, that was a bushel of carrots? No, that looked like curry. Anywho. Moving on here. So, we are... What are we doing here? Wits, I guess? Yeah, wits. We didn't really get a lot of good turns. I mean, I could have just taken another training anyway, but didn't feel like it. So, off we go to another turn. Valentine's Day, we should upgrade here. I don't even remember how many fans we had, but yeah, we did get the upgrade. And let's find out. So, we didn't get any friendship training again, so depending on what these turns look like, we're going to take wits again. I really actually should just take power instead. I'm going to take power instead. Who am I kidding? Let's try to at least hit our stamina minimums, which is pretty much 281 at this point. Yeah, 281. So, well, yeah, 281. Specific. That's the specific number I'm looking at. Now, obviously, again, these are this is with the condition that our stamina skills proc. So, one of the two needs to proc. At all, basically. Which should happen. Again, if our wits is also buffed by the URA scenario, I know I'm speaking redundantly here, but it's really important that it does proc because... Or, it's really important to consider this point, because if that's the case, then theoretically speaking, you don't need to increase your wisdom that much more during URA scenario. Especially if you're just grinding for sparks. If you're not putting the Musume you're training into your team trials or any PvP mode, then theoretically speaking, you don't need to increase the other stats anymore. Or in this case, getting your wisdom any higher than 200, really. But again, I have not confirmed that information, so this is just me speaking out loud to myself, if nothing else. But, anywho. You know, at this point... This is a sprint race, so all things considered, I'm just going to take Plan X here. I think this is actually an acceleration skill. The wording sometimes you would think that they would just say acceleration or velocity if they want to just be concise, but again, I'm not saying that the translations are bad or anything. It's just Yeah, actually, I'm gonna look that up because I already have something else pulled up anyway. So yeah, not that though. And we're actually going to no. Let's watch this one. Let's watch this one. Well, I say watch. Obviously, I'm doing something to the side while the race is going on. So yes, I am filling for time, but I am looking up something that at least I can say to you. And this is on a certain site that starts with a G and ends in an A. But yeah, again, I'm being really safe because robots have hurt me before, even though I shouldn't need to worry. That I am being paranoid is what I'm trying to say. But as we look this up and fill in time as the game loads, yeah. Let me see this really quickly. So plan X. It is acceleration for 3 seconds. So yeah, that's pretty important. Happens during a random, basically a random moment, and you need to be less than first place. But yeah, otherwise, unless we just get 15%ed, that's literally, it's close enough to 15%, it doesn't matter. If we get the wisdom buff. If we don't get the wisdom buff, then it's closer to like 70%, but still, I mean, it's close enough, it doesn't matter to me. It might as well be 15%. Even though that's advantageous to me, but I'm not going to rely on it. And then we can just get blocked, because the life of a late surger is just to get blocked. And so you cross your fingers and hope you get out. Same for end closers, technically, but if end closers are in the back, then theoretically speaking, you can navigate. It looks like you can navigate better, but as we get stuck in the back here, because I think Taiki shuttles in front of us and so is Sakura Bakshino. Man, is this a race to remember. So, yeah, life of a late surger. Or we didn't have enough power, but I'm certain we had enough stamina. So this is our last clock, and if we don't make it to your A finals at all, well, the consolation prize would be to get a sprint spark, because really that's what I'm looking for. Basically, I'm trying to just get sprint spark, and then I'm going to go for more sprint, basically for the parent and the grandparents, so that I can give to Gold Ship. That is literally the goal of at least this video and what I'm trying to do with Sakura Bakshino and King Halo. Now, after that though, I mean, if I wanted more sprint, because you would need a bit more, then I would continue training other Musume that can at least do sprint. I think the only ones who can, I don't know, I'm not going to say for sure. I'm pretty sure I'm looking at them, though. One of them being Haru Urara, funny enough. But yeah, I think I can push Haru Urara to A if she doesn't already start at near B, which is easier. I don't remember, though. Let's actually take a look at that. Let me just fact-check myself. So, her aptitude, Haru Urara's aptitude in sprint races is A. So, yeah, and then she has B in mile. I thought it was the other way around. Okay, well, either way. And that makes her easier if you don't want to put her in A mile, which can be troublesome if you're trying to do goal stuff. But otherwise, yeah, A dirt, A short, A late. Same for King Halo, who has 3 A aptitudes. That's why it's, or at least you have a higher chance of getting the aptitude you want. Because if you didn't know, having an A in aptitude is the requirement to get sparks at all. And yes, I think we were just blocked last time, so shrug, late surger life, but I don't want to make her a pace chaser, because then that's just going to tank my stamina, and you experience the same problems, especially if a lot of other people are running the pace chaser strategy, basically getting blocked. Shrug! But yeah, if nothing else, it'll probably be Haru Urara next, if I were to try for more sprint, which I do need to. Actually, at this case, I should just look up Gold Ship as well. So, as we move into the next goal, yeah, we're going to look up Gold Ship's sprint aptitude. Oh, it's G, so that's pretty much, I think that's pretty much trying to force Haru Urara in long levels of difficulty. But if I can just get to C or B, well, preferably B, really, then yeah, you're going to see my Gold Ship in the Legend race. That's, if not, that would be content, but I mean, I am seriously trying to do it because I Gold Ship. Yes, I'm using Gold Ship's name as a verb here. Don't hurt me, anyone. But anywho. Oof. At this point, I think I can comfortably just start focusing on stats here. So yeah, we're going to do that. But the funny part of this is that, actually, no. If I get speed if I get, say, a 3-star speed inheritance here, It won't be the worst thing in the world, and I'll apologize to anyone who would want to borrow 3-star speed, because I'm just going to, for immersion's sake, I am purposely leaving gold, or basically only using gold ship as the possible guest horse that people can borrow. Now, that's not to say my gold ship is bad. I think my gold ship right now is 2-star stamina, at least 2-star long. I want to say it's 3-star long. Is it this gold ship, by the way? No, but this is pretty much the gold ship that I had. I don't know if I upgraded it, because I thought I had a 3-star long with 2-star stamina, with more 2-star stamina aside. So basically, I'm giving you a lot of stamina if you decide to borrow my gold ship. Let me know if you want to borrow it, but otherwise... do I want to just forego wits? I'm gonna just put theory to the test. We're on our last clock anyway, as odd as that sounds, so yeah. Yeah. I guess we could do wits here if I really want to, but I don't remember. Again, if someone who knows the information wants to let me know, then let me know if wits is also improved by 400. I keep seeing conflicting information at times, but I'm pretty sure it's all stats 400 if the most reputable sources are correct. But I don't know if, because skill proc rates are based off of base wits, does that count modified wits after entering in the URA scenario? These are the kinds of questions I ask myself. By the way, we did get Professor of Curvature, which we can't get right now, but we also have Late Surger Savvy, which I don't think we need. I think that's just speed, right? Well, I say just speed, that would be important too, but let's look this up while the game is loading. So, clickety-clack. And assuming we upgraded all the way, wisdom, yeah, wisdom stat and field of view, if you care. I know I keep seeing information that says, no, Jordan, you're wrong, but I feel like field of view is important. And not just to pump team trials, but again, that's just my hearsay, and I would not advise people take field of view skills. I know it sounds like I'm being selfish or stubborn, but anywho. But yeah, the wisdom stat being increased by 60 is still a little boost, because as I mentioned before, the wisdom stat does do other things for you, like when you're going, I think specifically uphills and downhills as well, but also keeping position, especially for front runners, if not only for front runners. But again, I don't remember that for sure. So, do I Tazna here? No. Yes, actually, I should have Taz. Okay, good. We didn't get sleep deprived. I just recalled because I'm like, oh, if we get a bad thing, then it would have been bad. Anywho, we didn't get any good trainings here though. That makes me really sad. But we were gonna do a wits training anyway. I don't think. Well, you are likely to get, or there is a good chance of doing all 4 trainings. Now, unfortunately here, we didn't get much else, so I guess stamina it is, for the sake of maybe this King Halo becomes Legend Cup viable. I think she's already Legend Cup viable. I keep forgetting my own things. Again, you're hearing me a chair in the background because I am... there's a reason why I'm a complete free-to-play. That's the nicest way I'll put it for myself. But otherwise, can you give me some friendship training? I thought we had at least 3 bonds at Orange. Certainly Kitasan Black and certainly Special Week. And no, the game says no. So I guess we'll take power instead, 1%. Real RNG, by the way. But 1 we passed and 2 no friendship. So no rainbow. Anywho. Let us Tazna, because I do want to take concentration anyway. Even though we're a late surger, again, if nothing else, I'm more strong. I do more strongly believe in concentration being important over field of view having an effect or a bigger effect than pretty much not at all. But the thing is, I said I was going to do homework on that, but I didn't see anything about it. So maybe that is actually the reason why field of view is worthless, because apparently nothing uses it, but that would be strange. But anywho, at least at the current point of global server, I didn't look into the future, basically. But anywho, yeah, we shouldn't need to worry about any other races. We have enough stamina, we just need the speed and the power, and cross our fingers not to get blocked, which is kind of a tough ask, because that's pretty much a 15%. And by that, for those who don't know, basically I'm saying there's a 15% chance for me to lose every race. That's not based on any math, that's just another way of saying, hey, there's RNG in the game, so you could just get blocked and lose. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Tenno shows the last goal race. And yeah, funny enough, if we did, I think Gourmand is outperforms the stamina decrease from being a pace chaser. I'm pretty sure. If that's not the case, that would be a little weird. But what I'm trying to say is if King Halo here had an A in pace chaser, that would be nice. But keep in mind, again, the reason why I'm not pushing her to A pace chaser strat is to try and fish for the sprint race length aptitude. Period. That's the end of the sentence. But we'll watch this race as well, because I mean, it could be our last race. We might as well actually watch every single race at this point. So this is going to be a longer video. I'm also recording this later than I expect, but it should be fine. I guess we'll find out. I ran out of water, so I don't want to just walk away though, so off we go. We certainly are missing guts, but I think it's still enough. So the question is if... I think the most favorable condition here... Again, this is just based on my analysis, so if nothing else you get my opinion, which is nice for a video. But, yeah, King Halo needs to break out, and she needs to be... She needs to be not blocked at all, and then I think she'll just push forward. If she gets blocked... If she doesn't get out of being blocked by 400 meters in the final spurt, we probably lose. And by that I mean we don't get first, and that run ends, so... If nothing else, bare minimum, we want to get to URA finals, but preferably we want the URA finale series. But optimally, we want to finish the URA champion. We become URA champion for the spark, because that spark is quite important as well, on top of any other sparks that you can get, because every little bit does help anyway. So, shrug. Also, there happens to be a bunch of late surgers and less pace chasers, so that kind of scares me, but as long as we stay in front of the late surgers, I shouldn't need to worry as much. Yep, that's the end of the sentence. We never got Breath of Fresh Air, did we? No, we didn't. So all we have is straightaway recovery and corner recovery. Actually, can't we check it here yet? Yeah, so just checking here really quickly. We only have 2 normal recovery skills, which is enough. Again, we have enough stamina. Our guts is a little scary, but if we don't get blocked, we shouldn't need to worry. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think, if I were to call... I'm more confident saying this, so the reason why that is, and why being blocked at the very final spurt as we enter it here is important, is because, as I mentioned earlier in this video, when your HP runs out, it'll likely happen pretty much at the end of the race. So if that happens and you get blocked, essentially you don't get the speed increase that you should have hit, because by the time you run out of energy, after you exit from being blocked, you're going to not be at your Uma Musume is not accelerating toward the speed that she would have earlier on. I guess I'll explain that again. But again, this time we weren't blocked. That's why we got the most out of our, well, speed, power, and remaining HP. And I think that comes from a logical place, right? This is not even... Well, this kind of is based on my the calculations and sources I've seen. But that kind of makes sense, right? I guess I'll try to make a conditional metaphor to explain this. So say, for example, you actually don't have enough stamina. What happens is, so say you enter a final spurt with 200 HP, and you will run out of HP at about 200 meters left of the race. So picture 2 situations. You're going to run out of HP in both cases, but in situation A, you don't get blocked. In situation B, you are blocked until pretty much 400 meters. So what happens is, as you enter the final spurt... Are we going to get to 100 speed, by the way? As you enter the final spurt, at 400 meters when you're not blocked, you're going to accelerate forward, because your Uma Musume has the HP to start that final sprint and basically become faster. That's essentially what happens in the calculations, from what I know. But in situation B, you're blocked, so you're not able to speed up at all. Therefore, until you get until you're not blocked anymore, and say you even get unblocked at 250 meters, well, remember what I said earlier when you run out of HP at 200 meters because of just how this situation works? Well, for the remaining 50 meters until 200 meters in situation B, you're going to speed up. But you're soon going to stop speeding up, because at 200 meters, your Uma Musume runs out of HP, whether because someone debuffed you or just you ran out of stamina, like I said this situation proclaims. So in situation A, you can speed up for an extra 200 meters, and maybe you'll get in first and stay in first, even though you slow down, because you're speeding up enough to get a lead on whoever's in front, essentially. I'm wondering if... Oh, yeah, that's right. Focus and concentration. It's fine. It should be fine. So, yeah, not really much else to say. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I didn't need a race. Let's actually just move towards 1200 speed, which we're probably not going to get here. So, actually, no, we're just going to force it. So yeah, again, to state the situation, at 200 meters, you don't have enough stamina, so you run out of HP, which means you slow down at 200 meters, while everyone else keeps their speed that they have. But in situation A, you are not blocked, so you can speed up until 200 meters, in which you finally slow down, which allows you to get a lead. Whereas in situation B, you are blocked until, well, again, 300 meters, then you speed up for 100 meters, but you don't have that extra distance you would have gotten because you were blocked by someone and you're not speeding up. That's what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, I think that's what is happening if you are blocked, and that's why being blocked is so bad. And yeah, this I'm certain of because sources say so. But yeah, when you're blocked, you are essentially limited to the speed of whoever is blocking you. And so if your Uma Musume can accelerate, but she can't, but she's blocked and can't speed up, you're just losing stamina or HP and not getting anything for it. Which is why it's important to have ways. I need to look into the exact decisions that your Uma Musume makes to try and pass someone, which I think is also available information. But again, we'll watch these races and I'll explain to you what I mean if those situations arise. I think it's most evident when your Uma Musume is being blocked when you see her try to move left and right to pass someone. That's what I mean by, I think that in those specific instances you are essentially blocked, because otherwise how can you move past an Uma Musume and accelerate if they're not willing to run through them, essentially. But hey. But anywho, we'll take a look at what happens here. We should have enough stamina. These are all sprint races. We have 1200 meter turf, winter time, snowing weather, which I think requires more power and therefore more stamina, but hey. I don't know for this, so this is just trust me or hearsay statements, but I'm pretty sure the fact that you need more power means you essentially need to need to have more stamina, or basically burn more HP. But again, correct me if I'm wrong because I didn't look into that. Actually, I can look into that here while we're just sitting here waiting. Actually, I don't have the thing pulled up, but I can pull it up right now. I heard a lot of skills proc. I see Professor of Curvature. Again, I'm looking to the side here. If I put this here, as we enter the final spurt, because it's a 1200 meter race. No, the word weather does not show up here, but we look like we're blocked a little bit, so this is what I mean by we're not accelerating. But we have enough HP anyway, so as long as we stop being blocked before 200 meters, we should be able to beat anyone in front of us like this. If we're blocked at 200 or 250 meters, though, and someone has a big lead, like a Silent Suzuka, then yeah, just lose, I guess. That's another thing. That's another part that I assume newer trainers are not seeing at times. Although most of the time, newer trainers just start outstatting their competition. It's easy. Basically, if you see Silent Suzuka if Silent Suzuka is in first place, and she's, oh wow, we're really not going to get speed to 1200. I'm going to try my best. Yeah, if she's in first, and then you see velocity up or something like that, just assume she procced her unique skill, and then cross your fingers that you're not being blocked. If you're blocked, Silent Suzuka is going to stay in front. There's nothing you can do about it. Someone else might pass, like Vodka, or Grass Wonder, or Gold Ship, but certainly you are not. That's what I've observed, at least. But wow, that laugh was really evil and ugly. But anywho, so let us see. Actually, this says, well, that's ground modifier. Speed power, but I don't know for sure. Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, and then adjusted stats. But again, I don't know. Oh, it happens after. It happens after. So I think I'm looking at the width specifically. So if I'm looking into this right, as the race starts here, hopefully we do. Oh, we don't have concentration yet. I should probably think about taking it, or focus. Either one, whatever I can get. But yeah, because so in. I mean, yeah, we'll just say that. So yeah, every single stat is increased for the purposes of scenario modes or the career mode, but I'm pretty sure it's base widths, or the widths before being affected by the buff from the scenario mode that is used to determine if skills proc. And if I'm wrong about that, someone correct me, but I'm literally reading off a source. The only thing that can happen is that I misunderstand what's being said, which is likely to happen for me. We're being blocked, by the way, so I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope, because we don't have any clocks left, but I guess I can concentrate here. We're being blocked. King Halo needs to break out towards the outer, and she has an open way unless someone else walks in front of her, but unless Special Week just shifts to the left because she just wants to be Special Week. We should be able to break in front of Simply Rudolph. Agnes Tachyon also can't hold. TM Opera O also can't break through, so we should be able to win this race. Yes, okay, good. TM Opera O is usually someone who overtakes and then speeds up, so that's why I said what I said. But otherwise, yeah, Simply Rudolph is also a scary one, but if she's the one being passed, she's probably not going to take first. She's usually the one passing other Musume, specifically you or us, the trainers, Musume, and then beating us. So, and again, that really should only. Oh my goodness, we're not gonna get 200. No. Anywho, I thought you only need 1100. I'm going crazy anyway. I'm gonna actually search for this because I'm interested now. No. The answer is no. So off we go. I think we can get concentration here, right? Please tell me we can. We also have straightaway acceleration. Funny and okay, well, let's just hope we don't get a late start. So yeah, off we go. RNG time, RNG time. Can I still get concentration here? I'm pretty sure I can, right? Especially with Tazna with us. That's an extra 30 skill points. But anywho. Ooh, soft ground and snowy weather. This is going to be interesting. We certainly have the speed and power. If I didn't, that would be really weird. But otherwise, we should be able to survive here. Again, the only thing that can happen is us being blocked, but that's the life of a late surger. And it's also the responsibility of a late surger or / end closers to navigate their way out, which, again, I think what's actually happening is that field of view skills do not give enough of a buff for it to really make a big difference, which is what, I mean, it's reasonable. That's what a lot of trainers, me included, are looking for in skills, especially rare skills, but again, apparently the coast is clear and other navigational skills are not that effective. Again, I want to keep saying this, if for no other reason than for myself. But again, if someone else can come in and say, hey, this is how it works, or basically give me a reference, then I'll be happy to learn. Corner recovery, professor of curvature. I don't think we proc straightaway recovery yet. That would be nice, but hey, if we don't, then I'll understand as well, because our wits is low. Again, I think it's based off base wits. I'm pretty sure. But anywho, as we enter the last spurt here, I'm going to try to look at this really quickly. No, the answer is no. So yeah, okay, we look blocked again, but let's see if King Halo finds her way out, because she needs to pass a bunch of people, and she needs to break out now. She is still in between. That's a bit scary. So let's find out. Nope, she's blocked. So, unless she breaks out here, I don't think we won. Did we win? Okay, we did win. That was a race. That was interesting. So yeah, without further ado, I would have said I would have put chips down on saying we lost that race, but hey, things happen. So yeah, without further ado, hey, we actually got URA championship. Now will we get the spark? We'll see. But most importantly, I need the sprint aptitude to appear. 33%. 33%, but it also needs to be 2-star. So yeah, I'm really hoping. I don't know what the odds are. I wonder if it shows up here. No, because these are only for race details. And we didn't get 1200 speed, but for the sake of legend race, this is enough speed. It's just sad for 3-star speed inheritances, but you know what? Fine. I said inheritances, sparks. Oh goodness. Yeah, you're first rate, King Halo. Now, are your sparks gonna be first rate? Well, we're gonna find out. So, we're gonna take concentrate. We're just gonna take concentration. And we're gonna cross our fingers and hope. So, let's just make sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would say there would be an exclamation mark if there was something I could get. And I think I could have if we have a level 4 green hint, but otherwise, off we go. Off we go. What do we get for today in this grinding gate video? A rank, but yeah, we're missing a bit. There we did get sprint, so yeah, we do want to use this. 1 power, but these races are okay. So yeah, basically this is okay to use. This is okay to use for me. Now, preferably you do want 3-star. I do need 9-star sprint overall to do. Anywho, moving on. Yeah, so this is a good start. Now, whether or not I can do more, I think we need another inheritance. We might need another inheritance branch, but I can try this out and see what happens with gold chip. So yeah, without further ado, if you have anything to say, if you want to give me any information or whatnot, or not, do whatever you feel like is comfortable for you. If you want to support me, I mean, that's cool too. If you see any ads on this video, it wasn't me. But otherwise, as we close out this video, yeah, this has been a trip. And this has been me yapping on and on about other stuff. I need another 1,500 carats, but the legend races will happen before the Kita-san Black banner ends. And I guess I'll see you when I see you. So yeah, without further ado, not going to take up much more of your time. Thank you for watching. Bye!